Good evening and good afternoon, actually, and welcome to this edition of DMS 3000 News Live. It is episode number 96 on this January 2nd, 2024. Hope you're all doing fantastic. I'm your host, Jason DeCanio. Happy New Year to all of you, and I hope you had a safe one at that because we were ready to go, and yes, for all time's sake. So at this realm of the beat here, I want to thank everybody for a fantastic 2023. It was great, and we are just ready to go and do our thing for what it's worth here. So when we have you ready to go, we'll be there for you, as they say. We're always here for you, and we've got a great lineup of articles and news of the weird is here today, even though it is Tuesday because yesterday we were off. We hope you enjoyed all the Christmas stuff that came through, and we will definitely indeed be looking at some fantastic articles to bring you into the new year, to give you the confidence, and also to help you out as well. Today is the sixth day of Christmas. So, 17th. It's technically the sixth day of Christmas, as far as we know. There's 5 gold rings, there's 6 geese a laying, and we were going to continue on the 12 days of Christmas. We're just not going to have time to cover it all, but we'll give you little bits of pieces of information as far as that's concerned. So, with that in mind, we always have, of course, our articles for today. And of course, I am Jason DeCanio, the host of DMS 3000 News. This is the 96th episode of our program, 4 away from 100, and we're really getting there. So, continue your great support on the show and as well as with the network here. And let's see, the first article up today is How to Be Happier, Proven Ways to Boost Your Mood and Feel More Connected and Content. Also, too, we have I stopped making New Year's resolutions, and it was the best decision I ever made. You know, if you're the kind of person that pretty much makes New Year's resolutions but can't keep them, maybe it's not best just to not make them in general, because then you can never say I went off the path of not doing it. So start maybe not making a New Year's resolution is probably the best way to do it. This article will prove that you don't have to make a resolution, just a promise or something in a goal to put you on the path to where you have to be. And then charities where your donations go the farthest. You know, if you're the person that continually gives to donational charities and you want to know where your money really goes and which ones go the farthest, we'll give you the information of to where those charities actually go and all the information you need, so that way when you give them money and you make a tax deduction, you'll be able to say, hey, this is legit, for what it's worth. We also have the headline sports and other important information. We have news of the weird today, what day is today, and of course our motivation of the day as well. So with all of that, we're going to start off with our headline sports and other important information. Let's bring up our screen here and start off. Of course, all of our information comes from NPR. And here we go. Harvard University President Claudine Gay resigns as the resignation comes after new plagiarism allegations surfaced, added to the controversy surrounding the Harvard president in recent weeks. Ooh. Yes. A Hamas leader is killed in an explosion in Beirut. A senior official of the Palestinian militant group Hamas has been killed in what it believes to be an Israeli strike in Lebanon's capital of Beirut. Israel has not taken responsibility. An Australian cyclist has died after being hit by a car. Police arrested her husband. Two-time Olympian and world champion cyclist Melissa Hoskins was struck outside her home near the city of Adelaide. Her husband, Rohan Dennis, has been charged. Threats to abortion access drive demand for abortion pills, analysts suggest. Requests for abortion pills from people who were not yet pregnant spiked when patients appeared to perceive threats to abortion access, new research has found. Russia strikes residents in Kiev in large missile attack on Ukraine cities. Russia launched dozens of attack drones and missiles, including its advanced Kinzhal ballistic missile, according to Ukrainian officials. Israel puts thousands of troops from Gaza, a possible sign of scaled-back offensive. The move could clear the way for a new long-term phase of war against Hamas. Israel has come under growing intentional international pressure to scale back fighting, which has killed nearly 22,000 Palestinians. Yep. Planes collide and catch fire at Japan's busy Haneda airport, killing 5. All 379 occupants of the Japan Airlines plane escaped safely after colliding with a Japan Coast Guard aircraft carrying earthquake relief supplies. 5 Coast Guard crew members died. How Mexico City's biggest wholesale market is combating food waste. Since 2020, the 800-acre Central de Abastos market has reduced daily food waste by 24% and delivered almost 800 tons of unsold food to help soup kitchens. Americans on Medicare now get better access to mental health care, and here's how. Medicare now covers therapy appointments with licensed marriage and family counselors and licensed professional counselors as well. So if you have an issue where you need to go see a counselor of some sort, you're now covered by Medicare. From Austin to Anchorage, U.S. cities opt to ditch their off-street parking minimums. Around the country, cities are throwing out their own parking requirements, hoping to end up with less parking and more affordable housing, better transit, and walkable neighborhoods. It keeps people with schizophrenia in school and on the job. Why won't insurance pay? Well, a new approach to schizophrenia involves managing early psychosis symptoms and keeping young people in school or jobs. The treatment is effective, but private insurance plans don't usually cover it. 4 ways artificial intelligence can help with climate change, from detecting methane to preventing fires. Many companies, researchers, and governments are using artificial intelligence as a tool to help with climate solutions. And here are the 4 ways artificial intelligence is now used to combat global warming. 10 questions for the 2024 and politics. Here's what could determine who the next president will be. Let's hope that they're fair and balanced questions. We know they're never not. So, Maine Secretary of State tells NPR why she disqualified Trump from the ballot. Maine became the second state to rule the former president is ineligible to run because of what he did in the days leading up to and on January 6, 2021. Gee whiz, we're going back to that one date again to ruin this guy's reputation. There you go again, you dumb Democrats. You have nothing better to go on except January 6th, which you know the damn ex-president had nothing to do with. Yet you sit there and still lie and deny that he planned this whole thing out so that way he could get exposure on it. Damn fools you are, and you should be. And you in Maine and Colorado, you still are my doofuses of the day. You will be. Because you know what? You just hate Trump in general. And any person who hates another person for no reason and can't back it up with facts is a narcissist in every which shape or form. So right now, all you damn Democrats out there, and you know who you are narcissists. You are dumbasses, and you need to stop this crap once and for all, okay? Enough is enough. We are tired of your bogus lies, your damn allegations, and your accusations against this man, and he's never been charged with anything, and you know it. And you just can't handle the fact that the man's going to win in November and literally send you up the river without a paddle, okay? So get ready, because in the next 9 months, your ass is going to be handed to you on a silver platter. And the only people who are going to be laughing at you are the ones that are going to send you up the river, okay? So be prepared for lawsuits, trials, and hearings when the new president gets announced, and that'll be Donald J. Trump. Because at this point, he's going. I'll tell you right now, with all the stuff that you put him through, my friends, you are going to get the backlashing of the century. And if he doesn't do it, that means he's got more kindness in his heart and will let these things go, and more forgiveness in his heart. But if he fights them, be prepared. You will have to testify. And I'll tell you right now, you will be put up there, subpoenaed, and depositioned, okay? Mark my words on it. And we're going to watch it on the news, the hearings, and we're going to make sure that you tell the honest truth to the Congress, all right? So they're coming for you. All right, there's little scrutiny of natural deaths behind bars. Autopsies are not required for federal prison deaths that are classified as natural. NPR found cases where medical neglect, poor prison conditions, and a lack of resources contributed to these deaths. Yeah, I heard about that this morning. South Korean opposition leader is stabbed by knife-wielding man. Democratic Party leader Lee Jae-myung was stabbed in the neck, authorities said, during a visit to the city of Busan. No motive for the attack was immediately available. There was a motive. They're just not going to expose the motive. Okay. We all know why he got attacked. He's a Democratic Party leader. Duh. Yeah. Michigan and Washington will face off in the 2024 College Football Championship. The Michigan Wolverines defeated the Alabama Crimson Tide in a game that went to overtime, while the Washington Huskies beat the Texas Longhorns. Both Michigan and Washington teams are undefeated. Powerful earthquakes along Japan's western coast leave dozens of people dead. The aftershocks continued to shake Ishikawa Prefecture and nearby areas on Tuesday, a day after a magnitude 7.6 temblor slammed the region on Monday afternoon. Hack, Riz, slay, and other cringeworthy words to avoid in 2024. Do your New Year's resolutions include improving your vocabulary? Then the 2024 banished words list from Lake Superior State is for you. And finally, in a landmark ruling, Israel's Supreme Court rejects right-wing changes to judiciary. The decision on Monday was a blow to Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's campaign to weaken his nation's independent judiciary and raised new questions about Netanyahu's political future. And there you have it, folks. The headlines for today, January 2nd, 2024. Let's look at the NBA scores. Get you on today, back on track. Everybody had pretty much most of the time off. But let's look at yesterday and on December. Let's go all the way back to Saturday, December 30th, because that was where we need to go back to Friday night, December 29th. There was a lot of games we had to cover. And here we go. The Wizards beat the Nets 110 to 104 on Friday, December 29th. Magic take care of the Knicks 117 to 108. It was the Celtics over the Raptors by 2, 120 to 118. Kings over the Hawks 117 to 110. The Bucks over the Cavaliers 119 to 111. 76ers over the Rockets 131 to 127. Thunder take care of the Nuggets in an upset 119 to 93. The Suns beat the Hornets 133 to 119, and the Trailblazers over the Spurs 134 to 128. Clippers nail the Grizzlies to the coffin 117 to 106. Then on Saturday, the Jazz take care of the Heat 117 to 109. Pistons over the Raptors 129 to 127. And let's see, Pacers take care of the Knicks 140 to 126. The Timberwolves over the Lakers by 2, 108 to 106. It was the Bulls upsetting the 76ers 105-92. And the Mavericks take care of the Warriors and beat them by 10, 132 to 122. On Sunday, Hawks beat the Wizards 130 to 126. It was the Thunder over the Nets 124 to 108. Pelicans take care of the Lakers 129 to 109. Celtics 134. Spurs 101. Kings over the Grizzlies 123 to 92. And the Magic lose to the Suns 112 to 107. Yesterday, Knicks take care of the Timberwolves 112 to 106. The Raptors over the Cavaliers 124 to 121. Rockets yet again held the Pistons to another loss 136 to 113. It was the Pacers over the Bucks 122 to 113. The Nuggets again winning 111 to 93, but that was after they came off that loss, a couple days ago. Jazz over the Mavericks 127 to 90. The Suns over the Trailblazers 109 to 88. And the Clippers take care of the Heat 121 to 104. Tonight's games at 7 o'clock, the 76ers will host the Bulls in Philly. And the Thunder and the Celtics will tip off at 8 o'clock in OKC. The Pelicans will host the Nets at 8 o'clock in New Orleans. At 8 o'clock, it's the Spurs at the Grizzlies. Magic will go to the Warriors at 10 o'clock tonight in Golden State. And the Hornets will play the Kings in Sacramento at 10 o'clock. Now, those are the NBA scores. Now let's go to NHL and see what's going on there. A lot of games that we had to pick up with because, when we took off pretty much, we had to go back as far as Saturday, December. We had to go back as far as Friday. Yep, Friday the 29th. Panthers over the Rangers 4-3. In OT, it was the Blue Jackets over the Maple Leafs 6-5. The Red Wings over the Predators in overtime 5-4. Devils take care of the Senators 6-2. It was the Islanders over the Capitals 5-1. Stars, they beat the Blackhawks 5-4. Avalanche 2, Blues 1. Coyotes 2 and the Ducks nothing shutout. And in OT, the Kraken take care of the Flyers 2-1. Saturday night's hockey games, the Jets over the Wild 4-2. OT, Sabres over the Blue Jackets 3-2. And Hurricanes beat the Maple Leafs 3-2 as well. Panthers over the Canadiens 4-1. Bruins take care of the Devils 5-2 in Boston. And the Rangers once again keep winning. They beat the Lightning 5-1. Predators take care of the Capitals in a shootout. Win over there in Washington 3-2. And let's see, the Penguins over the Blues 4-2. And the Oilers over the Kings in a shootout 3-2. Sunday night's games, Jets over the Wild 3-2. Bruins beat the Red Wings 5-3 in Detroit. Penguins upset the Islanders 3-1. Senators over the Sabres 5-1. Lightning 4. Canadiens 3. Oilers 7. The Ducks 2. Avalanche take care of the Sharks 3-1. Flames over the Flyers 4-3. And the Stars, they do it again to the Blackhawks. They beat them out 8-1. Yesterday, it was a final in Seattle as the Kraken take care of the Golden Knights on New Year's Day. That was what they call the hockey shootout. You know, the what they call the New Year's Day challenge. Yeah, it was on. They always have that one big game, and it was the new teams, and the Kraken take care of the Vegas Golden Knights 3-0. Look at that. Today's games are going to be the Bruins at the Blue Jackets facing off at 7 o'clock. Hurricanes at the Rangers at 7:30. The Capitals will go to Pittsburgh to play the Penguins. The Canadiens at the Stars at 8 o'clock. Flames at the Wild 8 o'clock. Blackhawks will go to Nashville to play the Predators at 8 o'clock. Lightning at the Jets. Flyers at the Oilers at 9. Panthers and Coyotes at 9 o'clock. Face off with the Islanders at the Avalanche in Colorado at 9. Senators will play the Canucks at 10. Red Wings will play the Sharks at 10:30 in San Jose. And the Kings will host the Maple Leafs at 10:30 for the face-off. There you have it, friends. The NHL. Now we go to the NFL, and oh boy, what a change of events. If you were watching this past weekend, folks, you saw some upsets. You saw some blowouts. Man, week 17 really took it right to there, and there was no Monday Night Football game last night either. So, with that, in week 17, here are the scores. Browns take care of the Jets 37-20, helping the Browns to secure the number 5 spot. The Cowboys beat the Lions on Friday night. On Saturday, yeah, they do it on a Saturday night game. That was the upset game of the week again, folks, on a bad call that Detroit could have won that game 21-20, but they lose, and the Cowboys now can lock up the NFC East next week with a win against the Commanders and a Philly loss, or even if it's a Philly win, they still have the division. It doesn't matter, but they've got to win no matter what. Okay, Texans over the Titans 26-3. The Bears beat the Falcons and take care of them 37-17. Ravens have the number 1 seed in the AFC East at 13-3. They take care of the Dolphins, and the Dolphins control their own destiny next week against the Bills. Who's going to win that matchup? Ravens take it 56-19. Saints over the Buccaneers 23-13. And the Bills, like I said, if they win next week and Miami loses, they get to the AFC East. It's a long shot. They really have come back, proven what a team they are. They beat the Patriots 27-21. Cardinals upset the Eagles. Right now, putting the Eagles in a wild card spot unless the Cowboys lose next week. Cardinals win 35-31. Jags shut out the Panthers 26-0. It was the Colts over the Raiders, eliminating the Raiders from any playoff contention. The Colts win 23-20, and next week, Indianapolis has a chance to get a wild card. Rams edge out the Giants 26-25, securing their playoff hopes as the Rams secure a wild card spot, take the 6th spot. Pretty good. 49ers over the Commanders 27-10. They secure the NFC West right now with a division title, and they have the number 1 seed in the NFC. So right now at 12-4, and I've said this before, and I've said it again, we're concentrating too much on the Cowboys and the Eagles, and who sneaks in by to get the number 1 seed in the NFC East? San Francisco. Wouldn't you know it? Let's Talk Football will be next week when we come back. As we go into the final week and we go into the playoffs, there's going to be a lot of heated discussions going on, my friends. The Steelers, they beat the Seahawks 30-23. They're securing to try to get a playoff spot as well. The Chiefs, they beat the Bengals 25-17 to try to lock up the number 3 seed right now. If they can get it, they might have it. I think they're going to get their division, but they'll be only in the 3rd seed by then. Broncos 16, the Chargers 9, and the Packers over the Vikings 33-10. And those are the scores. And we'll give you the playoff scenarios that will happen after next week. So we'll let you know who's going to be in those games long before it gets down to that point. Yes. And there you have it, friends. Scores and highlights from around the world of the NHL, the NBA, and, of course, the NFL as well. So you've got 3 of the scores there. It's 4:22. And when we come back, we're going to look at the news of the weird and give you all of that stuff right then. And, of course, we'll take a commercial break. Be right back with more of DMS 3000 News Live right after this.
I want the news in a flash. So I listen to 1010 Wins 2, 3, 4 times a day.
New York is always changing, so I keep current with 1010 Wins.
1010 Wins makes a tough city easy to manage.
The news that touches your life never stops, so the News Watch never stops. Listen 2, 3, 4 times a day. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
I'll get the dressing.
No, let's make it fresh.
Which oil?
Pick a light one.
Vinegar?
Can I do it?
It's easy.
Dressing's great.
Good seasons. You make it fresh. You make it best.
The mating dance of a salad. The inspiration, the taste of garlic. Kraft captures it in its new Garlic Ranch. Savory garlic blended in a creamy ranch. Also in new Kraft Free Garlic Ranch. Only Kraft could arouse such passion. Salads love Kraft.
At GNC, it's all about quality, selection, and savings. That's because you'll find new everyday lower prices store-wide at GNC, like these. Vitamin C, now $1.99. Vitamin E, now just $6.99. Calcium Complete, only $3.99. Glucosamine, now just $4.99. With savings like these, living your best life has never been more affordable. GNC quality, lower prices every day.
We asked people what they think of Carefree Sugarless Gum's taste.
The taste? Great! Still sugarless? No way!
Isn't Carefree's taste terrific?
Mm-hmm.
And it's sugarless.
Tastes too good to be sugarless.
Doesn't that Carefree taste great?
Yeah, but if this is still sugarless, I'll miss the universe.
Ooh.
People think Carefree tastes too good to be sugarless, but it is sugarless.
Can I try a stick? It will hurt if I swallow. It will hurt if I swallow. It will hurt if I... Mommy!
When your throat hurts, Chloraseptic works on contact. Because only Chloraseptic has the power of phenol to penetrate nerve endings and stop sore throat pain fast.
More juice, please.
Chloraseptic is fast relief.
All right, welcome back to DMS 3000 News. It's episode 96 here on this January 2nd, 2024. Wanted to play you the new logo. That's our new logo. I forgot to upload I forgot to upload it for the beginning of the show to surprise you. Then it's in the playlist now, and the old logo is completely gone. So we're not using that. We're going to be using this new logo for now and forever. And of course, we have our fireworks in the display in the background for, of course, our New Year's week. So we got a lot of great stuff for you. But that is the new logo, and it's up there, of course, on YouTube. You can check it out. I made it myself. I think David pretty impressed with it. We can even put show titles in there if we need to. But at that point, you know. All right, so we was looking at news of the weird, but there is nothing new for today. So they are taking time off at Andrews McMeel syndication. So we'll go right to today's. What is today? And today is National Buffet Day. Oh boy, that's right. If you want to go out there and have a buffet, Golden Corral, Chinese, sushi, whatever the case, today is your day. That's right. January 2nd, National Buffet Day is the perfect excuse to fill your plate and feast. Let's be real. Food unites us all. The ingenuity of buffets is the endless variety on offer. A good buffet is like getting all of the presents on your Christmas wish list. Every member of the family is left satisfied, and you leave feeling like you won't need to eat again for at least a week. National Buffet Day is for those who can never decide what they want from the menu, for those who enjoy a plate piled high, and for those who just love to eat, naming myself. But the buffet table itself derives from the Brandvinsbord, which is a type of Swedish beverage table from the 16th century. The Brandvinsbord. Okay. This was a buffet system where women and men ate in different rooms, but still had an array of food to choose from. In the 18th century, the modern buffet began appearing as a smorgasbord. The smorgasbord was initially a table where pre-dinner drinks and nibbles were served to a group of guests separately from the main dinner. But over time, people started to use it to serve the main meal too. The word buffet actually originates from a type of French sideboard used to serve food. It was used in the 17th century by Frenchmen who would unexpectedly arrive at the home of women they wanted to woo, and it was simply a piece of furniture. It became popular in the second half of the 20th century, long after the smorgasbord. That word buffet was much easier to pronounce in the English-speaking world and was considerably easier to remember. It was 1939 when Swedish entrants at the New York World's Fair exhibition debuted and displayed a smorgasbord while displaying the best of Swedish food to lots of visitors attending that year. From then onwards, the smorgasbord was popular in New York, and the word buffet was being used to describe it. In the 1940s, the American buffet began in Las Vegas. The Buckaroo Buffet was created by Herb McDonald, with people choosing what they would eat from a range of food, a ploy used to keep people inside casinos for longer. That's why buffets are so popular at casinos, because you eat, drink, and gamble. The buffet expanded all over the country, and in the 1980s, TV commercials for buffets were commonplace. The buffet's popularity has declined a little in recent years, but they will always hold a special place in our hearts. January 2nd is the day to go to a buffet and make the most of what is on offer. So, here is the timeline, and it goes backwards. 1946 starts the buffet for a price. The first all-you-can-eat buffet restaurant debuts in the Vegas hotels. In the 1960s, what we eat in Vegas stays. Almost every casino in Las Vegas has its own buffet, and they range from cheap to the most expensive. Chuck a couple. A couple in Utah following the Atkins diet are kicked out of Chuckarama after serving themselves carved roast beef 12 times. And in 2016, critical eating, it is claimed that buffets have fallen due to the newfound focus on fast and casual dining. Oh, boy. Yes. So, what are you going to do today? You're going to go to your local buffet. Go to your nearest buffet restaurant with your friends and family and dine out on an array of food choices. And is it Asian, Italian, seafood, or maybe you just want dessert? Many restaurants cater to specific tastes or niches, so check online. And this may take some time in the kitchen, but make your own buffet and host some friends and family. Or host a potluck buffet in your place with everyone who is invited, being required to bring 2 dishes, and voila, your buffet is served. Here are 5 facts about National Buffet Day. Well, casino buffets in the 1960s used to cost around $1.50, and some of them still do to this day. You just got to know which ones are which. Some see National Buffet Day as a way to welcome in the new year by eating lavish and rich food. Yeah, talk about your New Year's resolution. National Buffet Day is known as the USA's favorite low-impact, dangerous sport. And in England, until the 1900s, a late dinner known as supper was generally eaten at 11 p.m. Woo! We're not even told to eat after 7 usually because the body usually stores everything as fat. And finally, in Sweden, smorgasbords are still used today, but are seen as incomplete without pickled herring. Oh, I don't know about you, but I'm not a big fan of pickled herring. I like pickled ginger, though. And why we love National Buffet Day? Well, post pictures of your buffet successes on social media. Share your food triumph on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and use the hashtag Buffet Day. And if you're going to cheat on your diet or healthy eating plan, you might as well go big. Pack in all your favorites at a buffet. Let me tell you something before we talk about that. If you go on a buffet like I do and you practically you haven't eaten anything for the day, but you've had a very light breakfast and you can hold your points, a buffet on Weight Watchers, usually if you eat all sushi, costs you 25 points. It's easier to do it that way because you know you're going to pile your plate high with all delicious sushi like I do. If you're not a big sushi fan, go for the chicken and broccoli. Go for the dumplings or the wontons. They're a point apiece. Egg rolls will cost you a little bit more, like 3 or 4 points apiece because they're fried, deep fried, that is. And if you must have the cranberry rangoons, be very careful with them because they're 5 to 6 points apiece because of the cream cheese and the deep frying. But they're so good. But just watch yourself on it. Peanut butter chicken, and remember, all meats. No points for vegetables. So if you can get a vegetable tray, of mixed vegetables on your Chinese buffet, go for it. Eat up all you want on it. Just watch out for the sauces as well. Eel sauce really is no points, but the soy sauce, if you're watching your sodium intake, your high blood pressure and everything, be very careful with that. And finally, sitting down to eat is a great way to bond with family and friends. And when you eat at a buffet, everyone is happy because there are so many choices. That's right. You never get bored with what you see. And every time you go back, there's always a new discovery. So, National Buffet Day. Next time we'll see it will be in 2025 on a Thursday. Pretty good. Not bad indeed. Time now is 4:34. And when we come back, we're going to have our first article of the day. And that is how to be happier. Proven ways to boost your mood and feel more connected and content. And then we'll look at this person stopped making New Year's resolutions, and it was the best decision they ever made. We'll look at those 2 stories when we come back with more of DMS 3000 News Live. News, actually. The live is gone right after this.
You can see it in their eyes. They're pushing to raise the benchmark of quality. And after 3 million miles of testing, the people of Exxon know Exxon Supreme Gasoline offers the highest level of engine cleaning, all for one reason. For proven high performance you can rely on.
Let the tiger set you free. Rely on the tiger.
So you're saying I'll make more money if I use cheaper ingredients and fillers?
Yes, you will.
No, I won't. Young man, you might know bookkeeping, but you don't know a thing about Hillshire Farm smoked sausage. People buy my smoked sausage because I make it with farm fresh cuts of pork and beef, hand-trimmed, lean and tender.
Dinner's ready. Won't you stay?
It's quality meat that makes Hillshire Farm smoked sausage
delicious. I wouldn't change a thing.
When it's Hillshire, eating's nice.
People always ask me, yo, Sinbad, why is McDonald's McRib sandwich only for a limited time? Because I, Chef Sinbad, said Mickey D's can have my secret for smothering tender, boneless pork in a delicious barbecue sauce forever. So I lied. They asked how long they could use my recipe. I said, let's flip, lend me a dime. They thought I said limited time. Okay, nothing this good lasts forever.
McRib at participating McDonald's.
Now Minolta gives you more, gets you closer than before. Freedom Telly is your best move. Your best move. Closer, closer, wider, wide. Get 6 million side by side.
Only Minolta's Freedom Telly gives you not 1, but 5 autofocus beams for perfect focus when moonwalking.
Freedom Telly is your best move. Your best move.
Freedom cameras.
Only from the mind of Minolta.
Coming soon on cable, your stereo and TV unite to bring you video music in stereo 24 hours a day.
You better ride! You better hide! Turn to the left! It's just the
MTV Music Television in stereo. You'll never look at music the same way again.
You don't have to put up with it anymore. New York, let's clean up New York.
Welcome back to DMS 3000 News. It's ready to go here for our first of the articles. And let's see. Oh, yeah. All right. Well, our first article up for the grabs today is, of course, how to be happier. Proven ways to boost your mood and feel more content about things. So let's add that to the mix and get on the program here. Charlotte Hilton Anderson came up with this article sometime at the beginning of last year in December. So here we go. You may think happiness just happens to you, but in truth, the key to happiness are within your control. Here are the small steps that can change everything. How to be happy. It's one of the most fundamental human quests. So why does it feel so hard and, well, unhappy sometimes? It may be because we're looking for happiness in all the wrong places. With all the things modern society offers in the name of happiness, from closets full of clothes to the internet to endless entertainment, we should be happier than ever, right? And yet Americans' self-reported state of happiness declined all throughout the last half of the 20th century and then plummeted after 2010, according to the World Happiness Report. Experts say that the first happiness disconnect lies in the structure of modern society. It turns out that while happiness is the central concern for most people, it is not the central concern for most societies today, says Robert Waldinger, who's an MD, a Harvard psychiatrist, co-author of The Good Life, and current director of the Harvard Adult Development Study, the longest running study of happiness in the world. The modern world prioritizes many things: wealth, power, popularity, success, ahead of the health and happiness of human beings. The second happiness disconnect comes from ourselves. Everyone thinks we know what will make us happy, and when the truth is that people are notoriously bad at predicting what will bring them lasting happiness and satisfaction. Well, Dr. Waldinger notes that in one oft-cited happiness survey, the most common answer people give for what they thought would bring the most joy and pleasure was getting rich, followed by becoming famous, having a successful career, traveling a lot, and having an easy life. The truth? Absolutely none of those things on their own brings happiness, especially not money, he says. So what does make us generally happy? Well, happiness isn't found in just one thing. And after studying hundreds of entire lives from childhood until death, I can tell you that there are a huge range of factors that contribute to a person's happiness, says Dr. Waldinger. Not all these factors are under your direct control, but about 40% are. And what you do with that 40% can determine 100% of how you feel about your life. The question, what makes us happy, isn't exactly what inspired Gretchen Rubin, now a world-renowned expert in the science of happiness, to write The Happiness Project about her own year-long search to find happiness. And one day I had this realization that I was in danger of wasting my life. I had everything I could possibly want, but I wasn't appreciating it. I remember thinking, what do I want from life anyway? Well, I knew I wanted to be happy, but I had never thought about what exactly made me happy. That was nearly 14 years ago, and today Ruben is continuing to discover her purpose while finding immense joy and satisfaction in her day-to-day life. She's written 4 more books about happiness, including the upcoming Life in 5 Senses, and launched a successful podcast, Happier with Gretchen Rubin. My life's not perfect, of course, but perfection was never the goal. Happiness is. We asked Dr. Waldinger and Rubin to share how, what, and most important, whom to focus on to feel happier and more fulfilled. From cultivating a positive attitude, learning how to build community, posting inspirational quotes on your vision board, and so much more, we have the secrets to how to be happy starting today. Starting with happier relationships. When it comes to happiness, nothing is more powerful than your relationships with other people. In fact, that was the main finding of the Harvard Happiness Study, says Dr. Waldinger. More than any other factors in the study, the quality of relationships people had was the greatest predictor of their happiness. In other words, the happiest people were those with the closest, loving, reciprocal relationships. It doesn't matter whether the relationships were with friends, family, or lovers, or if a person had 2 or 200 people in their lives. What mattered is that they connected regularly with others on a meaningful level. And if you want to know how to be happy, start with the tenet that our relationships are everything, he says. From the moment you were born, you're learning how to bond with those closest to you and interact with your community. And if you ever took it for granted, the quarantine lockdowns during the pandemic really reinforced how absolutely vital our community is to our health and happiness. Dr. Waldinger says, the Harvard study found that people with a strong community not only lived longer lives, their lives were happier and healthier to the end. Simple as that. And here's how to have happier relationships. Click on that and it'll take you to another article. First of all, friends provide love, support, fun, comfort, entertainment, a listening ear, and adventure buddy, and so much more. And yet we often let friendships slide as other commitments feel more pressing. It doesn't have to be a lot of effort to make it time for friends, though. Take, for example, one of Dr. Waldinger's daily happy habits. Each day I make a goal to consciously connect with one person, and it doesn't even need to be an hour-long gab sesh to be effective. A text is okay, but a phone call or in-person check-in is preferable, he says. When you can't see your pal in person, text one of these thinking of you messages that will make anyone's day. And you've heard of Schadenfreude, the feeling of taking pleasure in someone else's misery. But if you want to be happier, instead try its opposite, Fraudenfreude. This funny-sounding word means finding pleasure in someone else's success and happiness. And not only will this attitude of a rising tide lift all boats, strengthening your relationships with others, but it will also help you feel more confident and positive about yourself, says Dr. Waldinger. Compliment a work colleague on a job well done, or take pleasure in your sister cooking yet another perfect meal. And building close relationships is foundational to happiness, but it turns out that relationships don't have to be deep or long-term to give you joy. One of the more surprising findings from the Harvard study is that people experienced a significant happiness boost even after talking briefly to a stranger they would likely never see again. And just feeling connected is important. But there's a lot we can learn when we talk to strangers, adds Dr. Waldinger. The next time you're out, try chatting with the barista about the weather or compliment your doctor's receptionist on her earrings. Then see what unfolds. Acts of kindness are the building blocks that relationships and communities are made of, says Ryan McNally Linz, PhD and co-author of Life Worth Living, A Guide to What Matters Most, and Associate Director of the Yale Center for Faith and Culture in New Haven, Connecticut. And it doesn't have to be a huge act of service to have a big impact. Little acts of kindness add up, causing ripple effects and spreading kindness far beyond the person you originally helped. A few ideas you can try today. Hold the door open for someone, donate time or goods to a charity, or take soup to an elderly neighbor. But know your limits, because learning how to set boundaries, your framework for what is acceptable behavior, and the way you communicate that to others is a crucial part of having healthy relationships, says Rubin. It's a popular myth that if you really love someone, then it will be limitless or boundaryless. But the truth is that agreeing on basic ground rules for interacting makes stronger relationships and helps avoid codependency. It's okay to say no, politely, of course, to invitations to events that don't work for you for whatever reason. There are 30 of these tips. We've seen 5. We'll see another 5 on tomorrow's episode 97 of DMS 3000 News. When we come back, we're going to look at our second article because we've got to get moving on here. It is 4:46, and we'll look at that person who stop making those New Year's resolutions, and it was the best decision they ever made. And then charities, where your donation goes the farthest. We'll see about that and how you can make the most out of a charitable donation you would like to give to an organization that is in worthy need of some great help from you. Great way for tax deductions also as well. More of DMS 3000 News right after this.
Is your home a Nickelodeon home?
Can't eating dinner, the dog got his bone. I get it, that's the phone. Arms at the table, dishing the food. Everybody's in a very good mood. Singing Nickelodeon, 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 Nickelodeon. But says, sis, what's the channel for kids? I don't know. Come on, tell me what it is. Nickelodeon.
Holy cow! Are you as confused as I am about these new tax laws? Thank goodness you can buy all the things you need with a fixed-rate second mortgage loan as low as today's prime rate of 7.5%. That's right, 7.5%. Best of all, the low interest payments may be fully deductible. Qualified homeowners get instant approval. Call the Money Store toll-free. Dial 1-800-221-9000.
Hungry.
Got an appetite that's fully grown. And a brand new syrup to call his own.
Hungry.
Yeah, he's hungry. For new Hungry Jack syrup. For this big guy, it's Hungry Jack. It's thick and rich. That's a fact.
Hungry.
So give him that syrup.
Hungry big guy.
And just stand back.
Whoa.
Whoa.
New Hungry Jack syrup. For the Hungry Jack in your house.
Okay, you get home from school, you want brownies. What are you gonna do? You're watching cartoons. You want brownies. What are you gonna do? Here's what you do. New ready-to-microwave fudge brownies. From Pillsbury. Out of the fridge. Into the microwave. 5 minutes. Moist, chewy brownies anytime. Right, Timmy? Right, Bubby. And hey, all you gotta clean up is Timmy.
New refrigerator ready to microwave fudge brownies. Here, in the dairy case.
Every morning I delivered the news. But that morning, what I saw made news. A new bake shop, owned by a certain Mr. Thomas. And when I went round back where the muffins were made, he offered me one, piping hot with nooks and crannies. From that day to this, I never had a better paying job.
Thomas's English Muffins. For over 100 years, a delicious taste of England in America.
That's me, Tommy Lasorda, before I lost 30 pounds in 3 months with the Ultra Slim Fast plan. Now, that was last June, and the big news is I haven't gained an ounce back. The plan is easy. I had a delicious shake for breakfast, one for lunch, and then a sensible dinner. I feel great, and I'm never going to look like this again. Hey, if I can do it, you can do it.
Ultra Slim Fast. Give us a week. We'll take off the weight.
All right, welcome back to the show. Episode 96 here on this second day of January in the new year 2024. We can honestly say that. one of the things I forgot to share with you about is my weight loss journey so far. And you would not believe, even after eating some fantastic food last week, including some lasagna, drinking some eggnog, and having a buffet here or there, I still was able to drop a pound. So now I currently weigh, after 5 weeks, because I'm in week 6 now, 314.5 pounds. So total lost 18.5 pounds going into the 6th week, which has already started today. Well, actually, it started yesterday on the 1st. But when I weighed myself yesterday and I saw that I dropped another pound, it was kind of interesting. My scale has a funny way of doing something. I have to weigh myself at a specific time in the morning, 10:30, or between 10 and 10:30. If I weigh myself too early, the scale says I'm too heavy. If I weigh myself too late, it says I'm too light. So I have picked a designated time of around 10 o'clock in the morning because I'm off anyways on Mondays and Tuesdays to begin with from door dashing, so I don't have to worry about weighing myself so early in the morning. I realize also, too, it's also good to go to the bathroom first, clean out, pee out, or you number 2, and then weigh yourself, because you might see that weight could fluctuate with water in your system still. Water weight, is the thing that kind of does it. I was still able to lose a pound, and that's okay. I still lost. But I enjoyed some fantastic eggnog last week, because you ain't going to get any more eggnog till this November coming up. So I took advantage of what I was able to have points-wise, still used my flex points, and was able to enjoy some fantastic food. So I enjoyed the Christmas season, and you definitely had some fantastic food for yesterday in New Year's. So I was kind of happy about that, but I'm back on the plan again, which I was never off the plan, but I'm back on the hardcore, going to go ahead and really pound, and more incorporation of protein than I ever before. I can still have carbs. No restrictions on Weight Watchers as far as I'm concerned. Sweets, you can have them, but you got to account for them. Like anything else, you got to account for them. So in this case, I try to limit the amount of sweets that I have. Rice pudding is one of my favorites, and at 2 points for a small cup, I'll take that anytime over like a big slice of cake or something, which is a lot of points. At this point in the game here, points is points, and we're still going strong. I'll let you know what's going on next week as we go back to our regular week, which we are already in our regular week here, and tell you how much I lost. And even if I gained, I thank you for your continued support. More encouragement, drop me a line whenever I post on Facebook. And if you're my friend on Facebook and you see that I've posted because I post every week on my timeline, what I lost or what I gained, I'd like to hear a comment from you. Okay? Thanks very much. Appreciate it. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and get to our next article, which is Amy Keller Laird. She wrote this article back in February of last year. Said, I stopped making New Year's resolutions, and it was the best decision I ever made. Well, let's see how she came about here. So how are those New Year, New Me resolutions going? That's what we thought. Here's a better approach for happiness and lasting change. The last time I made a New Year's resolution, it was January 2016, when I was the editor-in-chief of Women's Health. I wrote my resolution as a Dear John letter to the phrase bikini body, assuring readers we'd no longer be using it on our covers or in the magazine because, in a truth that shockingly wasn't accepted by the mainstream media at the time, but is actually a complete no-duh, everybody is a bikini body. And being bikini body ready, a concept that held back to the dawn of the magazine and so many others, was more than suggesting otherwise, quite grossly. Personally, I stopped making resolutions when I was much younger, maybe because I grew up Catholic. Resolutions struck me as a confessional, and not fun, gossipy confessional, but literally a la confession is tomorrow. What am I going to say to the priest? It stressed me out. What did I have to confess to this week? That I taunted my sister to supreme upset by insisting I'd gotten a job at Claire's Boutique at the age of 14? That I'd been sent to my room for performing a Michael Jackson toes on point move 20 times at the dinner table? As well behaved a kid with no major crimes to report, I felt forced to find something for which to self-flagellate, which is sort of how resolutions feel. And not just for me. Indeed, early Christians used the new year as an opportunity to review their mistakes and look for fixes. And unfortunately, in the past decade or two, the mistake that needs fixing, if you listen to the onslaught of New Year, New You chatter, has become you, your entire being, or at the very least, your body. It needs a new diet, a new gym, new clothes, wrinkly neck products, a new butt, perhaps. And when you think about it, this message is truly the antithesis of happiness. Yeah. Well, this type of New Year, New You chatter isn't just not motivational, it's demoralizing and can even be dangerous. I dug into the research for a big January report, New Year, New Eating Disorder, for my recently launched mental health lifestyle platform called Mental. And while that investigation focused specifically on the harm of pro-dieting, anti-obesity messaging on eating disorders, it doesn't just exasperate them, it can actually cause them. It's not just people with EDs who are at risk. The New Year, New You theme that's become synonymous with resolutions and taken over traditional media, social media, advertising, and even digital pages from the Cleveland Clinic and the National Institutes of Health pits us against the very people we need most, ourselves. So, Catherine Metzeler, I guess, she's a registered dietitian nutritionist, doesn't typically recommend resolutions. They imply, in the way they're framed, that there is something fundamentally wrong with you. Resolutions have become pretty toxic and black and white, says Metzeler, who founded Brave Space Nutrition, which is a Seattle-based practice that provides nutritional therapy to people dealing with EDs and body imaging issues. And she told Mental for our report, they can trigger people's perfectionistic tendencies. Well, as it turns out, we're a lot more perfectionistic than we used to be. One study found a nearly 20% overall increase in perfectionism in college students between 1989 and 2016. Perfectionism is also associated with mental health conditions, including OCD and anxiety. And as a general trait, it can mentally wear down anyone and make it hard to maintain a positive attitude. Speaking of which, we're not doing so great mentally in the first place. The first year of COVID ushered in a 25% increase in depression and anxiety around the globe. And according to the World Health Organization, and we haven't exactly rebounded. In 2021, 76% of U.S. workers reported at least one symptom of a mental health condition, an increase of 17 percentage points in just 2 years, per the Department of Health and Human Services. Then in November of 2022, around 31% of U.S. adults claimed symptoms of anxiety disorder and 24% depressive disorder. And the American Psychological Association's 2022 Stress in America report practically reads like a dystopian novel, citing a battered American psyche facing a barrage of external stressors that are mostly out of personal control, with 27% of people so stressed on most days that they cannot function. Read that again. They cannot function. And yet, because it's January, it's time to remake our entire lives and selves. So let's go big. Let's work our butts off so they're perfectly perky in profile, as good butts are supposed to be. What about let's rest? Let's rejuvenate. Let's heal. Well, John Norcross, PhD, he's one of the foremost researchers on and biggest believers in New Year's resolutions, and he even suggests giving yourself a break as a deserving goal. Americans tend to be quite puritanical in resolutions. The distinguished professor and chair of psychology at the University of Scranton in Pennsylvania told Mental, resolutions, he said, are largely framed as what I'm going to deny or force. It's restrict, deny, control, instead of providing yourself with whatever the love is. And yet, these deny or force resolutions, also known as avoidance-based resolutions, are significantly less effective than approach-oriented ones per a 2020 study published in PLOS 1 or plus 1. Wow, and they spelt it wrong too. I think purposely for that reason. The idea of denial is just so depleting, isn't it? We've all had to give up so much over the past few years, and yet here we are doing it again. According to a Statista poll, it's an interesting poll, top 3 2023 resolutions are to exercise more, eat healthier, and lose weight. And I've already started long before the new year. Started right after Thanksgiving. The first 2 seem addictive at first read, but when you boil it down, are they all actually about restricting and denying? I asked Rachel Goldman, PhD, clinical assistant professor in the Department of Psychiatry at NYU Grossman School of Medicine, whether she believes eating healthy and exercising more are weight loss with its restricting and denying in disguise. And this is an interesting question because I think when most people initially think of eating healthier or exercising more, their end goal is weight/body related, she says, but I often see a shift either after working with a cognitive behavioral therapist like myself, once someone is in its place of body acceptance, or after they get into the new routine and start seeing the other benefits like improved energy, focus, concentration, sleep, and mood. Goldman says this highlights the difference between intrinsic and extrinsic motivation when it comes to changing your behavior long term. Most people initially set goals and make behavioral changes based off of extrinsic motivating factors, she explains. But what keeps them going is the intrinsic motivating factors. Extrinsic motivation, to be clear, is when you do something to get a reward or to dodge punishment. On the other hand, when you're intrinsically motivated, you find the behavior rewarding on its own. Remember those less effective avoidance-based resolutions I mentioned earlier? One might argue they're often made due to extrinsic pressure. Wow. And whether it's societal stigma to look a certain way or a partner's constant nudges to hit the gym, external factors such as motivation to make health-related changes eventually cause a person's belief that they can complete a goal to fall off a cliff, research shows. A study in the journal Frontiers in Psychology further suggests that tapping into people's values is key to truly inspiring health-promoting behaviors. The idea of new you, new year, hardly intrinsic or value-based. As the founder of the first mental health platform that encourages women to accept and embrace their mental health for what it is, a normal part of life that neither defines you nor determines your destiny, I'm not going to pick apart my every flaw come January, which isn't to say that I and collectively we can't strive to better ourselves. Of course we can, but to keep ourselves sane, we need to change the frame. Back in the day when resolutions first became a thing, they were far more community-based than individualistic. Now, we don't think I'm going to be a better neighbor or I'm going to volunteer more, says Norcross. We all know how we got here, with modern society's focus on me, not we. But we also know, even scientifically, that doing things for others is good for our mental health. Brings us back to values, and that's the reason Metzeler recommends setting intentions instead of resolutions. She suggests asking yourself this: what would I like to intend to do based on my lives and my values in life? Am I acting out of alignment with them? Maybe. Well, another concern with resolutions is that we tend to go super lofty, often setting ourselves up to fail, and then feel like failures. Well, here's a mind blower. It's actually a legit resolution to simply maintain a current goal. I wish more people would make them like that rather than these grandiose ideas, says Norcross. They're confusing wishes with resolutions. If you do go big, also make sure to go small, because big things get done best when they're broken down into micro steps with an action plan to move things along. Even basic to-do lists are associated with what's called planning fallacy. Like the old adage, biting off more than you can chew. And we tend to underestimate how much time it will take to finish a task. Put that on a grand scale, such as a year-long resolution, and, well, you'll see where this is heading, to the unfinished line. And this is why it's important, if you do set a resolution, to jot down a specific plan for carrying it out. Because having a goal hovering over your head without a clear path forward can lead to intrusive thoughts, according to a study in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology. Not helpful for those of us, most of us, beleaguered by other stressors. And one of the authors of that study, researcher E.J. Masacampo, was interviewed by the Harvard Business Review. And he suggested that reminding yourself why things you're doing are important or valuable to you can be the motivation you need to stick with something. When what you're doing is stuff you want to do, he said, you'll end up relying less on tricks and devices to get it done and go more out of your way to do it. And when you love what you're doing, I'd venture you're also willing to evolve your intentions as the year goes on. This is probably the biggest reason I don't set resolutions. I'm a person of everyday action. What do I need to do today? This makes room on the other days for mental well-being. What do I need to do to feel better? In January and February, when the days are cold and dark and holiday anticipation has turned to exhaustion, what I need isn't to push. What I need is to feel less pressure, to chill, to regenerate, to incorporate moments of joy into my days, which I believe makes me all the more capable of achieving big things when I'm ready. With an intention of, I will allow myself time for regeneration, comes the future intention of conquering bigger pictures, bigger purpose things. As Norcross puts it, wouldn't it be great if more people said yes to something that's life-affirming? Perhaps we should move New Year's from the start of the Gregorian calendar, and that's the actual reason, after all, we click champagne flutes in January, to March, when the Babylonians celebrated the yearly transition as part of nature's rebloom and rebeautification. At the very least, let's reinstate the ancient Roman tradition in January of honoring Janus, the god of change and beginnings, by giving friends good wishes and figs. I love a good fig. A year after I made that women's health resolution to stop using the term bikini body, my resolve was tested. We booked a celebrity for the following January's cover who, after our photo shoot, published a book about none other than sculpting a bikini body. I asked if she considered talking about how her version of a bikini body encompassed all bodies. To no avail, leaving my choices to A, run the cover, feel like a schmuck, or B, not run the cover, put an unknown motto on the January-February issue, one of our best-selling, and risk my job. I hemmed and hawed and hemmed some more, but eventually chose the latter. We picked up a motto image from one of the brand's international editions and went to press. I don't deserve a Pulitzer, but it was the right thing to do. And the reason I was able to do it, as the experts say of all fruitful resolutions, is because it aligned with my values and my own intrinsic desire to do my part, however small, in helping expand public perception of what a healthy body is. And whatever your intentions for 2023 or for 2024, let them expand rather than narrow your horizons. And let them also expand your image of yourself physically, emotionally, and most important, mentally. There you have it, friends. Amy Keller Laird is the founder of a mental health lifestyle platform for women and an editorial executive with 25 years experience covering mental health, beauty, wellness, and culture. Wow. What a long article. But there you have it. New Year's resolutions, and not even to waste your time on them, folks. You know, maybe you just need to go with the flow on them. Great article. Now, let's take a look at the next article in our list here. For charities, where your donations go the farthest. And I'm going to pull that up right now so we can take a look at that. And then we'll go to commercial break and wrap up this fantastic day here. I'm telling you, great articles, all tied in to the new year. And of course, we'll look at 5 more ways to be happy on tomorrow's program as well. Now we're going to pull up charities where your donations go the farthest. And, well, I always say if you're the kind of person that's, with the charities and everything, and you want to know where they're going and if they're legit or not, this is the article for you. Lindsay Tagar updated this one last year in March. She says, as the holiday season and New Year approaches, you may feel inspired to donate to a special cause close to your hearts. But when you give your hard-earned money, you want to know your contribution will actually reach those in need. And luckily, charities are required to be open about their financials, and it's easy to determine which will allow your donation to go the furthest. So, about 20% of charitable donations are made in December, which makes sense when you consider that folks are in the giving state of mind and likely want to take advantage of any possible tax deductions before the year ends. But before you open your wallet, it's important to research your charity to check how much of your donation actually goes to help others versus covering administrative or other costs. Here are some of the charities where your donations go the furthest. Rather than donate time than cash, consider these creative ways to volunteer and make a difference. So know before you give. And this Christian organization spreads the message of Jesus and contributes funds and aid to families around the world. According to their website, they currently help more than 3.5 million children in 100 countries. These efforts include tsunami relief, medical care, and other necessities. And if you feel inspired by their practices and align with their beliefs, you'll be happy to know that 86% of their total operating expenses go toward programs that benefit children, families, and communities. They also make some beautiful gifts that give back. So look at the world vision. Doctors Without Borders. Since 1971, Doctors Without Borders has helped those in critical need around the world. And by bringing medical professionals to areas of conflict or parts of the globe where infectious diseases run rampant, they've not only helped to improve the quality of life for tens of millions of people, but they've also saved countless communities. If you aren't a doctor, you can still help this organization by donating money to their efforts. This money is used 88% for programs, 11% for fundraising, and only 1% for management. And there are 15 ways you can help after a natural disaster. The Nature Conservancy is through industrialization, creates jobs and feeds demand. It also kills precious ecosystems the planet needs to thrive. So since 1951, the Nature Conservancy has worked tirelessly to be the figurative bodyguard for planet Earth. And while the charity is based in Arlington, Virginia, they successfully protected 119 million acres of land and thousands upon thousands of miles of rives globally. If you are Team Mother Earth, consider giving to this charity since 96% of your donation goes toward their mission. Helen Keller International. You probably recall the amazing heroic story of Helen Keller, who, while blind and deaf, wrote timeless classics and became the very first blind deaf person to earn a bachelor's degree. Here are a few things you should never say to a deaf person. Named in her honor, the Helen Keller International Charity is working to improve the quality of life and the prevalence of malnutrition and blindness. And this includes programs and research connected to all areas of health, nutrition, and vision. If this is a cause you cherish, consider donating, since 85 cents of every dollar goes straight to the fund their work. And don't miss these powerful ways you can give back without breaking the bank. Number 6 is the American Humane. Oh, yep. And while you're watching a TV show or a movie, did you ever notice the no animals were harmed message? The reason furry friends are protected from mistreatments is thanks to the American Humane, a 100-year company that fights tirelessly for the safety of animals. And in addition to their work in Hollywood, they also work to provide animal welfare conservation programs for farms and rescue missions across the country. They were also named the highest-rated charity by Consumer Reports this year, with 91 cents of every dollar going directly to four-legged and two-legged and no-legged animal buddies. You can also help by donating one of these 18 things animal shelters desperately need right now to a local shelter. Breast Cancer Research Foundation. As it's the most common cancer in American women, many groups are working to determine a cure for breast cancer. But the Breast Cancer Research Foundation, or BCF for short, is the only one to have an A rating from CharityWatch.org. They also have the GuideStar USA's Gold Seal of Transparency, since they are open and candid about their strategies, goals, capabilities, achievements, and progress. This recognition is only given to the top 0.5% in this 1.8 million IRS-recognized organizations. When you contribute, 96% of donations go to programs and fundraising, and find out what oncologists wish people knew about breast cancer. Girls Inc., and if you want to fundamentally change the next generation of women, your donation is well spent with Girls Inc. This nonprofit organization works in 350 cities across the country and Canada to provide mentoring and support for girls aged 6 to 18. When these young women are part of the program, they do better in schoolwork, are more likely to attend and graduate from college, and engage less in risky behaviors. For every dollar donated, 87 cents goes toward helping the girls, with only 2% toward management expenses. Find out the 10 things parents of girls wish they had known sooner. Number 9 is the Gary Sinise Foundation. If you have a veteran or first responder in your life, you know how much of themselves they give to the job, and that they aren't always supported in the way these brave men and women deserve. That's where the Gary Sinise Foundation steps in to offer programs to these special humans to entertain, educate, inspire, strengthen, and build communities. For every dollar you donate to this important nonprofit, 91.12% is directly given to these programs. They also receive the highest rating from Charity Navigator by following excellent best practices in governance. Number 10 is the Catholic Relief Services, and for decades, CRS has worked to improve the quality of life for millions worldwide. As an active and efficient humanitarian and aid organization, they send doctors and volunteers to dangerous, difficult parts of the world to battle emergencies, diseases, and other vital situations. That's where the missionaries also come in as well, too. Of all the donations that are given, 93% goes directly to their efforts. They also meet all of the 20 charity standards outlined by the Better Business Bureau's Wise Giving Alliance, giving them an A rating, and find out 35 simple acts of kindness that take 2 minutes or less. And finally, Ronald McDonald House. Well, with 366 locations around the world, this nonprofit organization provides support and assistance to sick children. Whether it's a safe place for parents to stay while their babies receive necessary treatment, or educational workshops to cheer up the darkest of spirits, the Ronald McDonald House never gives up on any child or family, and they put that money where it belongs, with 87% going directly to their work. If you're on a budget, these random acts of kindness don't cost a cent. There you have it, folks. 11 ways you can give, and know that where your money is going is vitally important to you as far as when it comes to tax deductions and peace of mind. All right, when we come back, we'll wrap up today's show with the motivation of the day. I also have the Mental Floss Amazing Facts, one that you might like and one that I have from yesterday because we were not here. We'll be right back with our final segment right after this.
It's 1, 2, 3, a triple thunderbolt place to be.
Now your weekdays are 3 times the fun when Pat and Vanna spin up a good time at 4 on the Wheel of Fortune. Then it's big cash and big smiles on the all-new $100,000 Pyramid. And 5 is your time for some star-studded laughs on the Hollywood Squares. It all starts weekdays at 4.
It's 1, 2, 3, a triple thunderbolt place to be. On KYWTV, Channel 3.
Hey, Herbert Fisher. Have you met Herb Grant?
Herb Grant, Tacoma.
Herb's in the plumbing business.
Yeah, I'm all backed up.
Herb, you know these bums? Herb Riddick, Herb Kaplan.
Hi.
So, the wife and kids are good?
Herb Jr.'s almost 12.
Whoa, next thing you know, there'll be a Herbert Jr. Jr.
If it's out there, it's in here. The 9X Yellow Pages. Why would anyone need another?
Kari Rigg is a real Geico customer, not a paid celebrity. So to help tell her story, we hired Peter Frampton.
My car was totally smashed in an accident.
Not a great way to start the morning.
And the tow truck that the police called damaged it even more.
I wanted to pull my hair out.
Geico handled everything quick and easy. It felt great.
Do you feel like I do?
Geico. Real service, real savings.
Look at that. They're tormenting us, Tom Tom. They're eating that delectable Panda Express Beijing beef right in front of us while we're stuck here with this bamboo.
That is completely uncalled for. You people are lame.
You're lame.
I say we turn our backs and protest.
I'm with you, pal.
Introducing Panda's new Beijing beef. Crispy strips of marinated beef with a tangy sweet and spicy sauce. It just might be our tastiest dish yet, and it's only at Panda Express.
Talk to the backside, people.
Goody, 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 goody. Goody got it, Goody got it. Sam Goody got it, Sam Goody got it, Sam Goody. Sam Goody got it.
We've got it. Summer savings at Sam Goody. Pick up Theater of Pain from Motley Crue, Invasion of Your Privacy, new from Rat, and Shaken and Stirred by Robert Plant. On sale now, only $6.99 each. Store-wide summer savings at Sam Goody.
Goody, Goody, Sam Goody got it. Goody, Goody. Sam Goody got it, Sam Goody got it.
Sam Goody. Got it.
Ice cream, Carvel ice cream, we make fresh ice cream every day at Carvel's. America's freshest ice cream every way at Carvel's. Fresh Carvel ice cream.
All right, today's motivation of the day, of course, comes from Ralph Marston from the website, The Daily Motivator, thegreatday.com. We'll, of course, give you the links to where you can go for these fantastic motivations of the day. He gives it to us daily here. And right now, titled for this one on January 2nd, 2024 is Say Yes to Something. Well, you can't say yes to everything, yet you can always say yes to something. You wouldn't want to cram your calendar so full that you're in a perpetual state of haste and anxiety, but neither do you want to string empty hours upon more empty hours and days. It can all be too easy to hide away from life, and to cite good reasons for doing so. But just because it's the easiest choice doesn't make it your best choice. You deserve the meaningful experiences that only you can allow and enable yourself to have. Make it a point to give yourself a nourishing supply of those experiences. Even if it's uncomfortable, inconvenient, a little awkward, and slightly intimidating, say yes on a regular basis and give yourself the chance to continue seeing life from the perspective of new experience. Many times, you're smart to say no, but don't let that become your sole response. Give yourself the gift and the richness of saying yes to something. Ralph Marston, fantastic in everything that man says from beginning to end. And we give it to you here on the Daily Motivator. Well, as mentioned last week when we was on the Christmas programs, the Mental Floss Amazing Facts calendar, we started posting these. I started yesterday posting them on my timeline, of course, as I'm going to do, because we used to do Don't Sweat the Small Stuff all the time. 3 years, great run, but now we're on to something different. So I want to read you this first one, which was from yesterday, January 1st. It was a Monday, and we weren't here. But you could see it on my timeline post if you're, of course, a Facebook friend. But it says, according to the National Insurance Crime Bureau, or the NICB, more cars are stolen on New Year's Day than any other holiday, and likely due to excessive alcohol consumption the night before. So people get drunk on New Year's Eve, and that makes many otherwise ordinary, responsible adults act like mindless morons and do things they might not do when sober. An NICB rep once explained. Fair enough. And today's Mental Floss 1 comes like this. Very short and sweet. It says, penguin poop, P-O poop, penguin poopy, can produce laughing gas. Well, there you have it, friends. Straight from the horse's mouth, Mental Floss, the amazing facts. We'll be here tomorrow with some more articles and facts to make you happy. And that's what we aim to do. Episode 97 will come upon you. And don't forget, I think on the 12 days of Christmas, 7 swans a swimming. Yeah, what an interesting way to go. We had 5 gold rings. We had 6 geese a laying. 7 swans. Remember I said back when we did the full 12 days of Christmas that it was going to be a lot of birds, kind of present-wise? Boy, they really think it up wise when they do something of that sort. But who knows? You know, for what it's worth, they definitely, I'm for sure, know that somewhere along the line, there's going to be even more birds somewhere toward the end of the 12 days of Christmas. Have a great day, folks. And remember, be honest, be real, and keep it simple, stupid. Kiss. We'll see you tomorrow. For now, good night.
Don't forget to subscribe to the Democracy Network for great more content like this one.